Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. Got a special one today. Look, we've been fixated on the Patriots all summer long and telling you over and over how much the AFC East has improved around them. Has it really? We're going to have an AFC East roundtable today. We have Sal Maiorana from the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle. He'll tell us all about the Bills. Rich Cimini, who has been covering the New York Jets for an eon, will also join, and he'll be telling us everything about Aaron Rodgers and the impact there. And finally, Omar Kelly has been covering the Miami Dolphins since time immemorial. He's with SI.com. He will join us as well. We're going to go over the normal things. We're going to bat it around. We're going to have some fun. And you're going to have some fun too. Promise. And at the back end of this, Mike Gesicki, irrelevant questions. So don't leave after the roundtable. I'm reminding you now. Here come the boys. All right, here are the boys right now. And just so you know their voices, you podcast listeners, let's go around the horn. Rich Cimini. Say Rich Cimini is right here.
Cimini is right here, Tom.
Sal, same kind of thing.
Sal Maiorana is here on his day off just for you, Tom.
Oh.
Omar Kelly here, avoiding the beach just for you, Tom. How's the weather, everybody?
It's friggin' perfect up here.
Yeah, you're right. You do get perfect right this minute.
But right now it's about 90 in New England. But hey, enough of that. Let's get you guys back to your days off, as it were, because the Dolphins and Jets play Monday night. These guys might have a little bit of relaxation on a Tuesday with a different schedule. Omar, who do you guys get to open with?
The Chargers. It's going to be that Tua Herbert showdown from the 2020 draft.
Good deal.
Series is 1-1 right now.
I love this. Answer me this. We're going to start with you, Omar. Are you afraid, speaking globally about your beat and your fan base, of the Patriots and Bill Belichick anymore?
No, I was afraid of Tom Brady, and I will always be afraid of Tom Brady. Belichick does not scare me, and in fact, Belichick, the GM, has run the Patriots into the ground. Belichick, the coach, is a Hall of Famer. The GM, he probably should have been fired a couple of years ago.
Oh, Sal, take it away.
Well, look, there's a lot of scar tissue here, Tom, from a decade, actually almost 2 decades of horror. So, yeah, the Patriots still worry me peripherally, but look, the Bills are a better team. They've proven it the last 3 years. So, yeah, that's starting to fade. And Omar's right. As long as Brady's not there, the Bills no longer have to fear Belichick and the Patriots.
Rich, nobody, I mean, I don't know. Sal's got a lot of scar tissue, but the Jets have a lot of emotional, personal scar tissue from this too.
Brady's not there, but the Jets didn't get the memo yet because they still play like Brady's there. The Jets have lost 14 in a row to New England. So are they afraid of the Patriots? I think that the fan base is afraid of them because they know that no matter how good things are going for the Jets, when they play the Patriots, things go bad. So until they beat them, I'm going to say, yeah, there's some fear. There's some ghosts in the back of their mind there.
Inverting the order. Rich Cimini. Dual question here. Who's got the best quarterback in the AFC East? And I want you to rank them as to who will have the best seasons. You can use whatever measure you want for best.
Well, the guy I'm covering is not bad right now, Aaron Rodgers, and it's kind of a shock to my system because I have not been exposed to a lot of good quarterback play in the last 20 or 30 years. But I'm going to say Buffalo has the best quarterback in the division. Josh Allen, I know he had some hiccups last year with the red zone interceptions, but the guy's averaged I think it's 36 touchdown passes over the last 3 years. He's the best in the division. I would say Rodgers 2, Tua 3, and Mac Jones 4.
Take it away, Sal.
Yeah, I'm in the same order as Rich. Look, Josh, he's right. There was some problems in the red zone last year, some stupid turnovers, even outside the red zone. But talent-wise, he is far and away, I think, the best quarterback right now. Aaron Rodgers, obviously a Hall of Famer, but he's 40 years old too. So I don't think we're going to see the Rodgers we saw from a decade ago in Green Bay, even though he's got better talent probably on offense than he's had there for a few years. So, yeah, I'm the same as Rich. Allen, Rodgers, Tua, and your boy Mac.
Omar, I can't wait for this because I think that you're going to see it the way I see it. Go ahead.
Listen, I might have fallen in love with the Aaron Rodgers documentary called Hard Knocks, because I am on full belief that he is going to have one of those resurgent seasons and win MVP of the league again, or at least, he looks motivated, he looks driven. So I'm going to have to give the first ballot Hall of Famer the number one spot, at least for this one season. It reminds me a lot of the Brett Favre when he signed with the Jets, and before he got injured, he was having a phenomenal season. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. I do agree that he's 40, so he's up there in years, but he looks totally motivated. Then obviously it's Josh Allen, who's probably got more tools than probably all but 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and then Tua, and then Mac Jones. Or whoever you guys are torturing up there at quarterback in New England.
See, I think it's Mac Jones than Tua. I think Mac Jones is more accurate. I think if you listen to guys like Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith, when they came out of college, they said, which guy do you like better, Tua or Mac Jones? They've all said Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones.
Yeah, they had to be nice. He was coming out in the draft. They had to be nice. Pump him up.
Still think he's more accurate. Think he's a little bit physically tougher.
Let's put some respect on Tua's name. He was the number 1 rated quarterback in the NFL last year. Like, you can't take that away from him, even though he was a fragile quarterback.
If you have the toys, you can make the noise. I just made that up. And he has the toys.
That's pretty good.
It was pretty good. I might be borrowing it.
Hey, Sal, who's got the best coach in the American Football Conference Eastern Division? I'm not talking about resume. I'm talking about game day. You're getting your guys ready to go. Who's going to outcoach who and have a game plan ready to absolutely unleash?
Hey, look, the easy answer here is Belichick because of the history. There's no doubt. He's maybe the greatest coach of all time. I'm going with Mike McDaniel. The Bills and the Dolphins played 3 tremendous games last year. And Omar's laughing. Maybe I'm totally off base because I don't know the guy. But he gave the Bills all kinds of problems in those 3 games. They almost beat the Bills in the playoffs with a 3rd-string quarterback. I like the way he thinks. I like his quotes, which is always great. I like the way he talks, as opposed to McDermott, who's a monotone, says nothing every day. So I like the way McDaniel goes about things. I'm going with him. It might sound crazy, but I like him.
Omar, you take it away.
You have fallen in love with the style of Mike McDaniels and the gimmick. Question to me is there substance there? They struggled in the December portion of the season, and while they won a game and got them into the playoffs, they didn't really solve any of the problems or issues that they were struggling with. And I think that's what we need to see this year to test his coaching credentials. But this is Bill Belichick's division. He will go down as probably the best coach in NFL history. If you want to put him ahead of Don Shula, I'm sure Dolphin fans wouldn't do that, but the rings says different. Belichick's got to be the king.
And Rich, I think that you, having had long experience with Bill, you're still going to be kissing that ring.
He was my head coach for a day, but if I had one game to win that I absolutely had to win, and it's a championship game, I'm going to take Belichick. There's no question about it. Now, I agree with what Omar said earlier. As a GM, he probably would have been fired a few years ago, but as a head coach, there is no one better now. There's no one better who's ever done it in the NFL. Bill Belichick is still the best coach.
He is the best coach. It's hard for us who are living in the forest with him to see everything around us sometimes and say, well, he has to be a genius on game day because he gives himself such a freaking degree of difficulty with the roster decisions that he has to come up with hatch things that are beyond the pale. But what distresses me is the non-competitiveness against good teams. And the Dolphins, you do get this, guys. They are 3-13 against playoff teams the last 3 years. And the only 3 wins are against Omar's team when they had Teddy Bridgewater and Skyler, against Sal's team in a freaking cyclone, and against the Titans in 2021 when they were without Derrick Henry and AJ Brown. Otherwise, it'd be 0-16 against teams going to the playoffs. Be that as it may, he's still the best coach in the division. but who's got the best defense in the division? And I know this is hard because we're all on our own work, and it's hard sometimes to look over at the other kid's paper and see whether or not that defense is good. I think the Patriots defense is a smidgen overrated because against the better quarterbacks, they tend to get ripped a new one.
Well, I'll go first because, again, I'm basing off of what I saw last year. I think the Jets gave the Bills, Miami and Buffalo played some really good games. I think the Jets gave the Bills and Josh Allen more trouble than maybe any team they played all season. Remember, the Bills lost 3 games last year by a total of 8 points. One of the games was to the Jets, and they could have easily lost the game at home to the Jets. They had so much trouble moving the ball against that defense. I think they have 2 of the best players on defense in the league in Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. So I'm leaning towards the Jets as the best defense in the NFL. Buffalo's defense is good. It's getting a little bit old, especially in the secondary. I like the Jets defense.
If you listen to DJ Reed, the Jets are not only the best in the division and the best in the league, but the best historically. He said they have the potential to be as good as the 85 Bears. I'm going to say the Jets as well. I'm going to agree with Sal. I think this is the best defensive division in the NFL. I think all 4 of these defenses are top 10 defenses. So there's going to be some rock'em sock'em, ugly, low-scoring tight games this year. But I would say the Jets because of Quinnen Williams, I think, is the best defensive player in the division.
Omar.
Yeah, I think you have to give it to the Jets just because I think they've got 3 really good players at all levels of their defense, and Quentin Williams, C.J. Mosley, and Sauce Gardner. It's hard to beat that unit. I think they're a well-coached team, a well-coached unit. And if they can stay healthy, I don't see any reason why they won't be the number 1 defense in the division. Buffalo, I'd probably give the second edge if they hadn't lost Leslie Frazier. And that, to me, is a huge drop-off. Leslie Frazier was no slouch in terms of a coach and what he brought to a defense. So replacing him won't be easy.
What's fascinating?
I think Omar's right about that. The interesting thing about that move, McDermott's going to call the defensive signals. Now, it's always been his defense, and Leslie had control of it, and Leslie did make all the play calls on game day. I'm very interested to see McDermott, whether he gets a little bit more aggressive than Leslie did. I think McDermott was fine with the way Leslie called the defense, but I think you're going to see a little bit more, and I'm not talking about all-out blitzes. I'm talking about maybe some more man coverage, more types of blitzes from secondary guys. That's going to be the key for me, is to see what Sean does with his own defense to pick up the pace a little bit and be a little less vanilla than they were with Leslie.
See, what's fascinating about this division is you have the most talented with a recent resume in the Jets, clearly the best, but the Bills are as good as they are. And then the Dolphins, who might lag behind, Omar, they add a genius in Vic Fangio. Or genius might be stretching it, but stretching it. But can he wring from them what he wrung from the Broncos the last couple of years?
I think so. If they walk away from this season without a top 10 defense, there's something's wrong. Probably a lot of injuries. The pieces are there. The only concern that I have about really the Dolphins defense and their team as a whole is this is a very top shelf talent-wise team. They don't have much filler. They don't have much beers and wines to keep the party going. So when injuries start to take place and start to decimate your team, you know those guys who have to hold the line, I'm not sure they're going to be able to hold the line. And then good coaches like a Bill Belichick will spend most of their game plans attacking those players. So I think they're a very top shelf heavy team. And it's just the depth just isn't there. And so those things will surface in November, December games.
One thing about the Jets, Tom, because Omar just mentioned a good point. The Jets last year finished 4th. They were very lucky with injuries. They had very, very few injuries on defense. I think they might have had the fewest games lost on defense for any team in the league. So that's, can you get lucky 2 years in a row? And the other thing is they faced a lot of backup quarterbacks last year. When they faced the Dolphins, Teddy Bridgewater, the backup, got hurt on the first play, and Skylar Thompson was in for the rest of the game, and the Jets had a feast. So that's another thing that you worry a little bit. They did not face a lot of good quarterbacks last year.
Hey, get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed! Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use, and you can be on everything from spreads to player props and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/NSBO and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. That's FanDuel.com/NSBO. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Massachusetts. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Hope is here. Gambling helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Play smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com or call 1-800-GAM-1234. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends 9/18/23. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
Before I get to some of the ceiling and floor questions and talent questions, answer me this, which I didn't put down on our list of questions. What's the #1 question mark your team has right now, Rich?
Oh, without question, they're 2 offensive tackles. It's been a narrative all summer. Dwayne Brown is 38 years old. He's coming off shoulder surgery. Didn't play in the preseason. Their right tackle is Mekhi Becton, who's got a ton of talent, but he basically hasn't played in 2 full years because of 2 knee surgeries. And when they're healthy, I think they'll be okay, but durability is a major question. Rodgers, he's 39 going on 40. He's got to be kept upright. That's a concern.
He could get pissed too. I could absolutely see that.
Well, he got pissed at you saw in Hard Knocks him getting pissed a little bit. So yeah.
Omar, what's your #1 storyline question mark around those Dolphins right now?
I think we're right there with Rich in terms of settling the left side of the offensive line right now. Teron Armstead, he was lucky and fortunate enough that it was just an ankle sprain and nothing more serious that he suffered in joint practices with the Houston Texans. But this is a guy who barely practiced last season and to play games and somehow made it to a Pro Bowl season. So I think we're probably going to be looking at a do-over again where this guy just shows up to game day after doing a walkthrough on Friday and has to play the season. And then their left guard spot, it's inherited right now by Isaiah Wynn, a former 40-game starter for the New England Patriots. I'm curious why the New England just said ahead with your first-round pick. And he hasn't really won them over, but Liam Eichenberg, Christian Wilkins was the Grinch that stole his confidence. And he just proved that he wasn't the starting caliber player and is probably in a transition move to center for the future. So offensive line, it's got to get stabilized. But I think they're better from a run blocking standpoint, but you know what your situation is with Tua. He's a quarterback that absolutely has to be protected. And it'll be interesting to see if they can do that.
Isaiah Wynn was perpetually mystified by what the actual snap count was in 2022. So that was a big reason. And then he just lost fundamentals, which he had as a rookie before the Achilles injury that he had. Just seemed to lose fundamentals. Just simply would be off balance and reaching for guys. And you're like, he's better than that. Isn't he better than that? And then he started saying, I don't know if he's better than that. Sally, what's the biggest question mark around your team?
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's middle linebacker. I mean, they lost Tremaine Edmonds. They were never going to pay him what he ended up getting from the Bears, but the Bills did a poor job of replacing him. They, for whatever reason, they went into training camp thinking that one of Tyrell Dotson, journeyman, Terrell Bernard, undersized third-round pick from 2021, and then A.J. Klein, who's over the hill. They somehow believed one of those 3 guys was going to step up in camp in preseason and win the job, and none of them did. None of them really played well. So that's going to be a big situation. Tremaine Edmonds did so much. His coverage, he's just like a condor out there.
Mhm.
He's so big and long, and they don't have that anymore. I think what you're going to see, and we've been talking about this a lot, they signed Taylor Rapp, who's a very good safety for the Rams, Super Bowl champ. I think you're going to see the Bills going to some dime defense this year. Passing downs, they're going to have Milano on the field, and I think Taylor Rapp is going to be in there as sort of the middle linebacker covering that middle zone, because I don't think any of the guys they have on the roster can do that job at middle linebacker. So no doubt middle linebacker for the Bills.
Can your team make the Final Four? I'm not asking for Super Bowls. I'm not asking for division titles. Can your team make the Final Four, Omar?
They can, if they have a relatively healthy season. And I'm talking, and it's happened. I'm talking years where maybe they lose 4 starters to injuries, and it has to be the right 4 starters, and they get Jalen Ramsey back sooner than later. But yes, they can absolutely. They do have the talent. They do have the coaching. They are positioned to pivot and become a very scary team, especially when you look at what they did last year offensively. 6th in the offense. If you fix the defense, you limit turnovers, you get better at the run game, you can absolutely be a Final Four team.
Definitely 6th in the offense, especially with the amount of time that Tua missed too. Rich, yeah. I'm skipping Sal with this because if that team isn't in the Final Four, I'm sniffing problems. Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's if number 8 stays healthy, they can be a Final Four team. He's 39. As we know, when you get older, stuff starts happening. He fought through some injuries last year, and you saw his performance go down. Statistically, it was Rodgers' worst year last year. Was that an outlier, or was that the start of a trend? I think it's probably an outlier. I watched him all summer. He threw the ball really well. I think he still moves well, but you got to keep him that way. And so if he's healthy with that defense, absolutely, the Jets have the potential to be a Final Four team.
Sal, I got a different question for you.
All right.
Have the Buffalo Bills, as many people are beginning to whisper, already reached their peak and are starting to recede?
I'm 60 years old. I can't quite hear you, Tom.
Have they started to recede from the apex under Sean McDermott?
Now, honestly, I don't think so. I think the Bills are in a good spot this year. They were the consensus favorite to go all the way last season, and we all know what happened. There was a lot of stuff happened to that team, especially at the end of the year. I think they're flying a little bit under the radar. Everyone's hot for the Bengals. Obviously, the Chiefs. The division is much tougher. We all know that. Their schedule is brutal. They've got some really tough games. But I think the Bills are in a good spot, and I think they're going to be a better team. Even though they went 13-3, I think they've done some nice things outside of linebacker to improve the team. I think Gabe Davis is going to have a great year. Kincaid, the first-round pick, is going to be the slot receiver. I think their defense is still going to be very good. I kind of like the way they are or where they are, and they absolutely, if their quarterback stays healthy all year, I think the Bills can be right there, no doubt about it.
All right, listen, don't sleep on Trent Sherfield because he can add an element that helps your run blocking.
He's a tough SOB. He came in, everyone thinking he's going to be the 5th receiver. That dude, if it wasn't for Kincaid being the slot guy, Sherfield's the 3rd receiver on the team. In the preseason, he was kicking the hell out of everybody in run blocking, and he runs good routes. I like that player a lot.
Look at these guys. They're just so into it now. You knew, I know where you guys
here. Wow.
are. When you see the DM or the email or the text come in, you're like, oh, do I want to do this? All right, I'll do it. And now you're here and you're having fun. Different last question than I had planned. Here's the question. Fill in the blank. If the Patriots go 2-0 against my team, ... Rich Cimini.
I think Robert Saleh is going to be feeling a lot of heat if the Jets lose again to the Patriots. I mean, it's. Do you remember the last time the Jets won a game? It was the final.
Chris Jones. Was it the Chris Jones game?
It was the overtime game in the Meadowlands where Decker caught
Eric
from
Decker.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2015. So I mean, you can't lose to the Patriots twice. Last year, I think they had one game where they played well, but Zach Wilson threw 100 interceptions in the first half. And then in the second game, they couldn't move the ball, and they lost on a walk-off punt return, which was just gut-wrenching. So if the Jets lose twice, I think Robert Sala's going to feel a lot of heat.
Omar, could this happen? Could the Patriots wander down to South Florida and just cuff the Dolphins around?
You got to give Belichick a chance. He's the master of mismatches. And if the Patriots pull off a 2-0 series against the Miami Dolphins, season's over. Because I think the Dolphins are looking at New England as 2 gimme games. Obviously, they're not going to be layups, but those are two opponents. Dolphins have a very tough schedule, and that's 2 games that you absolutely need to win to get to where your final destination should be.
Sal?
Yeah, if they lose twice to the Patriots, they're not winning the division. The Bills have to go on the road to Chiefs, Chargers, Eagles, Bengals. That's just 4 that I can think of off the top of my head, not to mention Jets and Dolphins, which give them trouble, and maybe the Patriots. So, yeah, if they go 0-2 against that team, I'm not sure where the other 11 wins are coming, maybe 12, to win that division. They've got to take at least a split, and they should probably win both games against the Patriots, or else it's trouble.
Big trouble. All right. Fellas, really appreciate it. We got a little bit of a handsomeness overload here, so we're going to have to pull the plug on this. Omar, we have Irrelevant Questions with Mike Gesicki coming up right after this. He's enjoyable.
He is. He's character.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, enjoy your season. Stay safe. Okay. Enjoy the season, and we'll talk to you later on down the road. Thanks again.
All right, Tom. Take care.
Well, that was fun. Huh? These guys were informative, and they got into it. Meanwhile, Thursday, I want you to jump on that pod. We're going to have more people in to talk about teams that aren't from here, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll have Dave Zangaro and or Ruben Frank from NBC Sports Philly to join us and give us the skinny on what to expect Sunday afternoon when the Patriots and Eagles lock wings. Okay, now it's time for Irrelevant Questions brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Irrelevant Questions, and this is Mike Gesicki. He's a tight end, but he's kind of a hybrid wide receiver. Do you ever call yourself the hybrid?
No, never once have I done that.
Is there any chance that we can get that going?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's different pay grades between the 2 positions. So I'm trying not to teeter off. And trying to pick one. So I'll just do whatever I'm told to do.
All right, fair enough. What was the best catch you ever made? I don't care if it was Pop Warner. I don't care if it was baseball. I don't care if it was Miami. I don't care if it was training camp. Best catch you ever made?
I think for me, I caught a crossing route against Buffalo back when I was in Miami in 2020, and the ball was a little behind me, and I stuck my arm back, and I always joke when I catch the ball with one hand, I just close my eyes and just hope it sticks, and it did. When you make those, especially on Sundays, those are exciting.
All right, you're from New Jersey. It's a lacrosse hotbed. It's a baseball hotbed. It's got some hockey. It's obviously got some football. What was your favorite sport as a kid?
I mean, basketball was definitely always my favorite sport. Grew up a Nets fan, Vince Carter, Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson, those guys. So that was my number one.
Glenn, should I tell him? I'm a slasher. I remain fairly dominant at 55.
There you go.
And I can break your ankles if I have to.
I mean, listen, I'm not even accepting that challenge. I haven't played basketball in a long time, but listen, I'm not accepting that challenge.
See?
Yeah.
That's another W before we even get on the court for me. How old were you when you first dunked?
I was in 8th grade.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
I know. Yeah, I was blessed with being 6'4" in 8th grade, so that definitely helped.
6'4" in 8th grade?
Probably, yeah, somewhere. Maybe I was like 6'2" Yeah, 6'2", yeah.
This is my favorite portion of the program. This is called, hey, what's your number? Your number here is 88. Is that the number that you would prefer? And if not, why not?
Yes, that is absolutely the number I would prefer. I wore it all of college, got drafted in 2018. The number was taken, so I had to wear 86. Once the year was over, the guy that was wearing 88 stopped. I hopped right back on the train. I've been in 88 for the last 5 years. So.
You get double infinities.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about Boston?
Probably just the weather in the summer. I'm coming from South Florida. It's a little hot down there this time of year. So training camp this year was incredible because, weather was in the 70s. So, it's not too bad.
You know what they say about New England weather?
What's that?
If you don't like it, just wait a minute.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
That's what they pay me so much for.
Nah.